Hello, my name is Evie, and I'm a first-year engineering student studying creative technology and design at the University of Colorado Boulder. Today's lesson is all about dams and how they impact the ecosystem. And I have HelperBot here, who loves to visit rivers, to help out. Have you ever been to a dam before? HB has, and they've noticed that dams impact the environment a lot more than we think they do. They told me that dams can stop flooding and can change the temperature of water. This can have many negative effects on the surrounding environment and wildlife. Let's dive into the impacts of dams and how we can fix them. As I mentioned before, dams can change the temperature of the water. Rivers usually have the same temperature throughout, so a change in temperature can mean big changes for the surrounding wildlife. This is done via reservoirs, which layer the warmer water on top and the cooler water on the bottom. Water is typically released downstream from the reservoir's lower section, which is often colder than the river's normal temperature. This can negatively impact all life forms in the river, from the little macroinvertebrates to larger trout. Imagine if the temperature of your home dropped by 20 degrees all of a sudden. I'd catch a cold for sure, and I think the fish would too. Ugh, not fun. Did you know that floods are actually useful to the environment? Maybe not for humans or robots, but they are for many aquatic animals. Lots of aquatic animals have coordinated their reproductive cycles with the annual flood seasons. These animals can have their offspring in safer areas farther away from the main water sources, because the floods make smaller pools away from the river. This helps to protect the animals' babies from predators, because they make for great hiding spots. Floods even help bring nutrients from the land into the river, giving food to the animals living in it. Many animals only reproduce during certain times of the year because they know their children can have safer places to grow up in, and because floods provide them with plenty of food as well. Without these floods, these animals can't have these benefits, and it may mess up the timing of the reproductive cycle. The babies could be born during a different season with less food and hiding spots if they don't have the floods to time it, not to mention the season could be much colder too. Not only is it sad if these creatures don't survive because of dam impacts, the loss of one species could have widespread effects in the aquatic food web as well. Floods are a lot more useful for these animals than we thought, to the point of it being life-threatening if these floods don't happen. Dams block water, right? Well, they also block fish from passing through. Imagine if a wall was built right in the path you take to school. Then you can't learn, and that's not fun, is it, HB? Silly HB, humans can't fly over walls, and neither can fish. Many fish move upstream and downstream to complete their life cycles, like salmon. Unfortunately, because of dams, they're unable to do so. Many salmon's natural cycles have been interrupted by these dams already, and we can't let this stand. Now that we've identified all the issues that dams cause for the wildlife, what are some solutions to these problems? If you'd like to brainstorm some yourself, you can pause the video now. Otherwise, we'll jump right into it. We, as engineers, have the capacity to make dam designs that are friendly to the local ecosystem. Remember that dams tend to make rivers a lot colder because they release cooler water from the bottom of reservoirs into them? Well, this can be mitigated by releasing water from the upper half of the reservoir instead. As for the dams preventing floods, this can be helped by timing when water is released from these dams. Mimicking a flood is better than no flood at all. Lastly, did you know that engineers have already come up with a way to let fish through dams as well? They do this with something called a fish ladder. It's a silly sounding name, but it works. They look something like this, and they allow the fish to be able to climb over the dam, upstream or downstream, to complete their migration. And no, HB, fish still can't fly. Not these ones, at least. Now you know the impacts of dams and how we can fix them by making environment-friendly dams. Dams aren't the only thing that affect the surrounding environment, though. There are many other inventions that help humans but hurt the ecosystem. Think about other inventions that may affect the environment in ways that we could engineer them to be less harmful. Or, if you make creations like these in the future, keep in mind how it can impact the environment. This world takes care of us, after all, so it's only fair that we try to take care of it too. Anyways, that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Check out the full lesson on the Teach Engineering website. Then, test your knowledge of dams and their impacts by gauging the health of a local river with the Macroinvertebrate Survey in Your River's Health.